What's up, guys? Welcome back to a new video here. So let's talk about it. Jon Stewart 2028, is it a possibility? Will he do it? Would he have a chance of winning? I'm going to answer those questions right now. Make sure to like and subscribe. And let's start off by saying he hasn't said he's going to run yet, but I think it's a possibility. And I think in the era of Trump, I think people are starting to realize not only can you have the controversialness of Trump, but Stewart's controversial, but you also need the celebrity aspect. And Stewart is a celebrity. And God, just look at Trump. How did he get to where he is? Why was he able to take off from being a nobody in politics to the presidency? Why was he able to do that? He was able to do that, guys, because he was a celebrity. He was a reality TV show host. He was a famous person. So is Jon Stewart. He's popular. He's well-liked. He's well-respected. Even many people on the right wing like Stewart, or they respect him at the very least. He has common sense. He's on the left, too. And again, a lot of his policies, it's left-wing populist, which is kind of what the party probably should be trending towards, the more the Bernie Sanders wing in terms of economic policy, which is what he talks about, while at the same time he's rational. And like even this week, Stewart was talking about, oh, you got to give it to Trump. He had a vision, at least. He at least had a vision for the country, which is really not what the Democrats had. Or at the minimum, it was not perceived that the Democrats had that vision. So Stewart continuing to do his show, and I think there's going to be a lot of pressure for him. And honestly, guys, who else is there in the party right now that would do better than him? Like, maybe someone emerges, it's totally possible. But you're telling me Josh Shapiro versus Jon Stewart would lose that primary? I don't think so at all. Who is, especially in the day of media, Jon Stewart would go, all the podcasts he'd go on, he would look really well. It's media, it's what he's experiencing, it's what he's done. And again, in terms of is he qualified for the job? Because that's really what the issue is in terms of historical purposes. But guys, it's the era of Trump. Trump is president again. He won a second term, and he was a reality TV show host. That's how he was famous. Jon Stewart is a talk show host. Even look around the world, guys. Vladimir Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, he was a comedian. Same thing as Jon Stewart. The guy, president of Argentina, Milei, what was he? A stage right? I mean, he was like a joke, and he's the president. Anyone can run now in the days of media. It really all depends on is he going to be able to do it? Is he going to run? Because if he runs, I think he'd be the nominee. I really believe that. Again, there could be fierce opposition, but I think there's a good chance he'd run. I think there's a good chance he does run, is what I'm saying. And if he does, if it's Jon Stewart versus J.D. Vance, and again, of course, a lot depends on how the next 4 years are going to go, but I think Jon Stewart would have a great chance. And I know a lot of people have been talking about this. I saw Kyle Kalinske talking about this, and many other guys, even on Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan said, yeah, I think he'd be a great idea. Why? Because he has the left-wing populist. He has a vision for America, kind of like the Bernie Sanders style, but at the same time having common sense and being a great communicator, which is really not what the Democrats have had. Kamala Harris, I mean, it wasn't perceived that she was a great communicator with people, at least from a visual perspective. I mean, she, of course, all the clips on Twitter, like the laugh, like all that. And again, I think it's overblown in many cases, but we live in the age of media, and it's good to have a candidate who's really good with media and who's been doing it his entire life. So if Jon Stewart's a nominee, I think he'd have a much better chance of winning, as opposed to a typical establishment Democrat, which they've done for years. I mean, they've lost 2 out of the last 3 elections, and they barely won the last election, the Democrats with Biden. And who knows what would have happened if Bernie was a guy in 2020. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be also interesting to see if there's pushback against it. Like, if you were to get in a race, and this is totally hypothetical, guys. I mean, the election just happened, but in terms of the next 4 years, I think it's totally possible that the party might trend this direction. And it's also important to note that Bernie Sanders today released a press release. It was pretty weird, guys. He's talking about basically the Democratic Party, and he released a statement a few weeks ago, which we talked about, just shredding the party. They abandoned the working class. But the implication of a letter he released was that they might, start a new party. Whoa. So they might start a new party, the Working Families Party. That's what some people were saying. I don't know. It's possible, but in my opinion, if you start a new party, you're just going to split the left, and then it'll be total power for the Republicans. So I'm not sure if that's worth it, but who knows? It's an interesting idea. I know guys like Andrew Yang, for example, they had the Forward Party, but it doesn't seem to be getting that much traction. It's just hard today with a 2-party system to start a third-party campaign. It just is. But again, who knows? In the day of media, anything can happen. I mean, it's going to come down to if Bernie wants to actually do this. Is he able to gain enough support online, which I really think is how a lot of these campaigns are going to be run in the future, how political organizations are going to be run in the future. But Jon Stewart, I think he has a chance, and especially if he were to announce, maybe a guy like Bernie Sanders, I think, would be on board with that. Some people talk about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I think she's more likely to run for senator, and frankly, I just don't know if she'd win. I really don't know. I think Jon Stewart would win. I think he's likable. People like him, and he's a known commodity, guys. People know who he is. Everyone knows who he is. People who like politics, they know who AOC is. But, the average person doesn't know. And sure, maybe not everyone knows who Jon Stewart is, but did everyone know who Donald Trump was? No, but they're a personality, and that's their entire game. And I think the Democrats need to go maybe in the celebrity fashion in the age of media and the age of Trump in 2028, especially against a guy like J.D. Vance. I don't know. I think it would look good for the Democrats, but we'll see what happens. Just an idea. They usually end up doing the wrong thing, so they probably won't do that, but I don't know. I'm curious what you guys think in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe. A lot going on in the world right now. Trump, as I said, predicted, dropped his nomination of Gates, renominated Pam Bondi, who, again, very similar, but less of the allegations. I'll be generous and leave it at that. But that's what we got for you guys today. And make sure to like and subscribe. Comment what you guys think about Jon Stewart. Curious what you guys think. And we'll come out with probably a video tomorrow or the next day on everything going on. All eyes on the Middle East and in Russia, Ukraine, where the situation continues to escalate. But yeah, that's what I got. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.